So please, if you see an empty seat, scoot into the row and come down a little bit, please. Thank you. I can sit back here.
There it is. ROTC stepping up. That's it.
Yeah. If you would tell us tonight that if they sign up.
Good morning. Let's try that again. Good morning. All right, excellent. We are about to get started with our program here in just a few more minutes, but we do encourage you to check under your seats because there is a special envelope for 5 students that you will be getting a $15 gift card to Papa Murphy's. Who got it? Who got it? Who got it? Okay, so we've got one. So whoever gets their envelope, please feel free to come up to the prize table and I'll get you your gift. Okay, excellent. So we've got one, we've got 2. There might be one in the very back corner of the room, maybe. All right, excellent. So come collect your prize at the front, please. Thank you.
Are we ready to get started? Okay, good morning. No, 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 no. That's not how it's gonna go. Good morning. Welcome, welcome to Multicultural Youth Leadership Day. If you're ready, let me hear a big woohoo. Okay, it is 2020, so we're going to make sure that we have some good vision on how we do this. So you found a seat, you found your ticket, and we want to make sure that food out there, we want to thank our breakfast sponsors, the University of Utah, the College of Law, and the Utah Center for Legal Inclusion. Let's give them a round of applause. My name is Michele Loveday. I'm the Associate Director of Educational Equity and Granite School District. I'm really excited to be here. Woohoo! If you're in Granite, I know my Granite schools are here. Granite, where are you at? That's right, that's right. I love what I do. I've been an educator for 18 years, and I think it's just an amazing thing. I knew I wanted to be a teacher from the beginning. So if you know something that you want to do, make sure that you stick with it and you look and you research and you just study all the things that you want to do. So I've been in that department now for 4 years. I was a principal for 5.5 years, and it's just been a wonderful thing to work with students. And I love that you're all here making sure that you want to work on your leadership skills. So give yourself a little pat on the back. Good job, good job. So this is the 8th year that the Multicultural Youth Leadership Day has been happening. And it's a premier gathering for students interested in civic responsibility and helping all Utah communities thrive. The continued success of the Leadership Day is reflected in Governor Gary Herbert's executive order that it's in the best interest of students to make sure that they are prepared and college and career ready. It encourages you in this initiative to pursue higher education and to work on your strengths throughout life. So you may not know what you want to be when you grow up, but you kind of have an idea, and the fact that you're in these seats right now is giving you a little bit more perspective. So as we have progressed in this program throughout the years, this day has grown into an event that attracts hundreds of students, educators, and community leaders just like you throughout our state. We had someone that came and they got up at 5:15 to get here. So it's a serious, serious thing that they're taking. And it's because of you and your support that we can continue to prioritize this program, and we thank you for that. So thank you. Thank you so much. Yay! So before we officially begin and we introduce everyone on this panel here, I want to take a moment to recognize this year's partner and the co-sponsor of the 2020 Multicultural Leadership Program and Day. In this beautiful building, right? Isn't it amazing? And look at the quote that we have and the pictures. We are in the S.J. Quinney College of Law building. So thank you for saying yes to our collaboration and hosting this year's event in such a great institution on the University of Utah's campus. We also want to thank our program sponsors and supporters, American Express, Comcast. We have the Comencity Capital Bank, the Governor's Office of Economic Development, the Governor's Office of Energy Development, Larry H. Miller Charities, National JACL Credit Union, OCA Asian Pacific Islander American Advocate, the Utah chapter, Utah Center for Legal Inclusion, Utah STEM Action Center, Utah Division of Substance Abuse and Mental Health, and the WFC Foundation. And those are all their logos behind me there. So let's give them a big round of applause. Did you all see that table over here to my right? Have you seen this table? Okay, take a look. Everybody, ooh, ah, with me. Ooh, ah. Okay. These are our prize drawings. So they're from the Queen Center's Island Teens Advocacy Team. We have Megaplex Theater things in there, the Natural History Museum of Utah, Papa Murphy's, we all love some pizza, the Sapa Investment Group, Tracy Aviary and Botanical Garden, and the Utah Development of Agriculture, the Utah Jazz, and You Serve Utah. Those are all the prizes. We will give out the prizes during the closing session. So you all received your passport. Do you have it? Do you know where it is? Don't lose that passport, because that passport will ensure that you'll be in for the drawing. So keep track of it. Yes, look for it. Get it out now. Hold on to it. That's your ticket. okay? Once that's complete, once you complete your passport after all of the workshops that you've gone to, you want to make sure you submit your passport for a chance to win these amazing prizes, okay? So get your name on it, and you know what? Don't take a chance. First and last name and your school on that, okay? All right. Give you a few seconds to get your life. Okay, now, next, it is my privilege and honor to introduce Ms. Nubia Peña. She's the director of Utah Division of Multicultural Affairs, and then she's going to continue and introduce some other people. But I want to take some time. My friend, my amiga, oh my goodness, she's muy bonita, and she's muy inteligente. Let me just tell you a little bit about Nubia Peña. Like I said, she's the director of Utah Division of Multicultural Affairs, where their mission, this group hosting today, is to promote an inclusive climate for Utah's growing diverse community through training, outreach, and youth leadership development. Now listen, this lady is an attorney, a lawyer, a national training consultant, a juvenile justice advocate, a youth mentor, and she was recently named Utah's Business Magazine 40 under 40 people to watch. So let's give Ms. Nubia Peña a big round of applause. Better than that. Woohoo!
Thank you. All right. Yes, no, definitely keep making noise, right? We want energy. Thank you. Yes. I am so excited to welcome you also to this year's event. I really want to just go ahead and say thank you to our co-partner and sponsor of this year, Dean Elizabeth Kronk Warner, who I get the pleasure of introducing. So can we just show her some love? Let's show her some love. Yes. So I just want to highlight a couple of things about her exceptional career and her pathway as a leader and as the leader of this institution. So Elizabeth Kronk Warner is the Dean and Professor of Law at the S.J. Quinney College of Law at the University of Utah. Dean Kronk Warner comes to us with an impressive background deeply entrenched in diversity and inclusion efforts. She is a nationally recognized expert in the intersection of environmental and Indian law. She has received numerous teaching excellence awards, co-authored several books, and has 40 articles and book chapters to her credit. Dean Kronk Warner, a citizen of the Sault Ste. Marie tribe of Chippewa Indians, served as an appellate judge for the tribe and as a district judge for the Prairie Band, Potawatomi. Oh, I like that word. Potawatomi. Say it with me. Potawatomi. I like it. Potawatomi tribe. She is not only the new dean of the law school, she is also a mother, a wife, a mentor, an advocate, and a fierce champion for bridging access and resources to underrepresented communities. She has become our incredible partner in wanting to see each of you walk the halls of the institutions like the S.J. Quinney, where dreams can be inspired and you can see yourself pursuing college and advanced degrees. Maybe one day becoming an attorney. Raise your hand if you have the dream to become an attorney. I'm hoping that by the time we're done today, there will be several more, but Dean Kronk Warner will be able to talk a little bit about the benefits of leadership and how having that degree could potentially help you. So Dean Kronk Warner, on behalf of the Utah Division of Multicultural Affairs, we want to thank you again for opening your home and agreeing to this partnership to host the 2020 Leadership Day in your institution. It has been a gift to work with your exceptional team, including Chris, Dean Aguilar, Isabel, and so many others. We could not be more grateful for this collaboration. Thank you again for your heart to serve our young leaders. And if I can please again ask you to welcome Dean Kronk Warner to the pulpit. Thank you.
Sush Nabe. Hello, friends. Before I get started today, I just want to acknowledge that we are on what was historically tribal lands. And one of the nice things about this valley, the Salt Lake City Valley, is that this was an area traditionally where tribes would come together to meet. It was a gathering place. So it's really appropriate that we're here today gathering and continuing that tradition. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that this was historically and still is tribal lands that we're on today. It's truly a pleasure to host you here today. The reason why we're so incredibly excited to have you here at the S.J. Quinney College of Law is because you belong. You are our future. I hope that all of you will, by the end of the day, raise your hand and say you want to be a lawyer. I look out and I see just all the faces of our future and great leaders. And so I want you to know that we consider you as our future, and we hope that you will consider applying to law school in the future because you absolutely belong. I also want to tell you a little bit about our co-sponsor for breakfast, the Utah Center for Legal Inclusion. The Utah legal community invites you and recommends that you get involved and connected to law even in this early stage. It may seem like becoming a lawyer is far away, but it's never too early to start thinking about it. To that end, I want to tell you about the Utah Center for Legal Inclusion, a co-sponsor of today's breakfast, which is comprised of judges, attorneys, educators, and others in the legal profession who have created a pledge program for diverse students. Together with this law school, the Utah Center for Legal Inclusion provides mentoring by attorneys, judges, and law students, as well as financial support for high school and college students in order to help you navigate the path for law school. So if you're thinking to yourself, I do want to become a lawyer, but I'm not sure how I'm going to pay for it, they will help you. And you are invited to grab a brochure about the Utah Center for Legal Inclusion, and also they have a booth downstairs, and they wanted me to tell you that if you go sign up for their Euclid News, you will be enrolled to win one of 2 Amazon gift certificates. So definitely a great resource to consider in the future. So today I was asked to spend a couple of minutes to talk to you a little bit about my path. And there are 3 things that I'm hoping that you'll take away from my couple of minutes that I have with you here today. The first is, as my grandfather said, who only had a 5th grade education, get an education because it's the one thing they can't take away from you. Secondly, you don't always have to know your path. Sometimes you'll encounter people in your life who seem to know exactly what they want to do, and that may be intimidating. But you don't have to know, and sometimes, as they say, all who wander are not lost. And third, the importance of finding community. Throughout my path to becoming dean, I've been very fortunate to have community around me. And the community might not look like you. They might look differently. They might be from different backgrounds, and that's okay. They can support you, and you can still support one another. So first, a little bit of a background. I am the product of indigenous peoples and immigrants. So my dad is the child of Polish immigrants who came to the United States trying to escape the forces that were leading to World War II, and he settled in Detroit. My mom is the product of natives from the Sault Ste. Marie region of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, very, very poor. She tells stories of growing up and eating mayonnaise sandwiches because that's all they had was bread and mayonnaise. They found each other because my father was orphaned, and so after he graduated from school, he thought, I'm just going to send letters around and see who needs somebody to help out. And it just so happened that people on the reservation needed some people to help out. And so that's how my dad ended up going up to the reservation and finding my mom. So I do not necessarily come from a very privileged background in terms of economic privilege, but I do come from a background full of love and full of hope. And so when I grew up definitely better than some people on the reservation, but powdered milk was a staple in our house. All of our family recipes involve Velveeta, so if you ever come over for Thanksgiving, I'm going to make you some Velveeta and broccoli. That's what we do in my family. And when I was 7 years old, we moved off the reservation and moved downstate, and I vividly remember it because I got forced, literally pushed into the classroom, and they were taking a spelling test. And I didn't even know the ABCs. So not only did I enter this new community being relatively poor to those around me, but also now everybody thought I was stupid. And I've always been a little chubby, so I was overweight, had some braces on, didn't particularly look very good. So it was just a rough point in my life to join this new community in these various ways. But my parents worked really hard. It was important for them that I get a good education. My grandfather used to always say, get an education because it's the one thing they can't take away from you. And that really stuck with me. I was immediately an outsider and made fun of because we were relatively poor. I was not seen as intelligent, and I was fat. And so I had to work hard to catch up. It took me about a decade to catch up. It wasn't until I was well into high school that people started to look at me as capable of anything. And that was a really hard time. And so when I look back on it, I was reflecting on this last night. What got me through was the community that I had, which was my family. My parents really supported me. And so that was my first thought of the importance of community. So when I got to college, I think the lesson that I learned here is that you don't have to know your path. That can be really intimidating because sometimes you might meet people who seem to know exactly what they want to do. They want to be a lawyer, they want to be a doctor, and you might think, I have no idea, right? I just want to get through today, and that can be really intimidating. But speaking personally, I certainly did not know my path, and I certainly did not know what I wanted to be when I grow up. So when I first went to college, I applied as pre-med. I applied wanting to be a doctor. But the reality set in when I hit Calculus 3 in college, and I really, really struggled. I vividly remember taking that final exam and walking across the campus crying because I was convinced I had failed this class. And I was very happy when I got a C. So being a doctor was not for me. And as a result, I went through 4 other majors. So I was a government major, I was an opera major at one point in time, I was an art history major, and I ended up graduating as a communication major. And that's all to say that it's okay. It's okay if you wander a little bit. If you know your path, that's great too. But I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know what I was going to graduate with, and that was okay too. It ended up working out. Just keep working hard. In law school, I thought I wanted to do death penalty defense work. That's what I went to law school to be, just like Brian Stevenson, if any of you have watched that movie, Just Mercy, which is an amazing movie. That's what I wanted to do. But then I got to law school, and it turns out I didn't really like criminal law. It wasn't really for me. So I had to change my path again. Then I thought, I'm going to do international law. But then international law wasn't for me. And then I ended up finding Indian law, which is my great passion in life. And I feel so incredibly privileged to be somebody who practices federal Indian law. So again, not a straight path. I did not know what I wanted to do. But it ended up being okay. And I ended up finding the right path for me. Then after I graduated from law school, I just started to do things that sounded like fun. So no determinative path. I went and clerked in South Africa for a year, lived in Johannesburg. That was an amazing experience. I went to go practice in Washington, D.C. because that sounded fun. Being a girl from the res, I'd never been on the coast. And then I applied for a job in Montana to become a law professor because Montana sounded pretty cool. It was an adventure. I'd never been out to Montana. And it all worked out okay. So that's to say, keep working hard and don't feel bad. Don't feel intimidated if you don't know what your path is. You will find your way. And then in college and law school, I found the importance of community. And I really encourage you that no matter where you go in life, no matter what you do, to try to find that community to support you, to find that place where you belong. So it's only been very recently that I have been comfortable in my own skin. I am a white-looking Indian, which is uncomfortable at times. I have an interesting background, so sometimes when I associate and have to do certain things as dean, I feel very uncomfortable with people who might have had a more privileged background, and that's difficult for me. And so it's only after 4 decades that I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable in who I am. But there have been communities throughout my background who really helped me to thrive. So for example, in college, I was able to find the speech and debate team. So I was able to find a group of people like me who really enjoyed speaking, right? I like to talk. It's the one thing that's been consistent. It's probably why I became a law professor and a lawyer. I like to talk. And so I found this group of people who really enjoyed speaking. We were very different. My best friend in college, it came from New York City, was a Jewish man, grew up pretty economically privileged, and he's homosexual, and we're still best friends. On paper, we couldn't be more different. But we came together through our love of speech and debate, and we grew from there. And now we're there to support each other, and we still have that community that we formed in college. So look for community, and remember that you might be able to find community with people who don't necessarily look like you, and that's okay. You just need to find a group where you belong. In law school, I was able to find a group of people who had a similar background to me, and they supported me throughout law school, and that was tremendously helpful. And in my later years, more recently, I've had some tremendous mentors who have all been white men. again, on paper don't look anything like me, but have really had the same goals as me of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and have been willing to support. So my advice to you is get your education. It's the one thing they can't take away from you, right? No matter what happens, get your education and you will survive. Secondly, it's okay if you don't know your path. Great if you do. But if you don't, that's okay. And don't be stressed out. You will find your way. Just continue working hard and continuing having your eyes on the prize in terms of graduation or whatever else it is. And then third, no matter where you go in your life, no matter what you do, work on finding that community. And it could be as small as your parents. So for me, for about 10 years, it was me and my parents against the world. And then it could grow, and that community that supports you could look very different from you, and that's okay. Just be sure to find that place where you belong in that community. So thank you so much for being here today. Che Miigwech, thank you very much. And remember, you belong here, and we wanted to co-sponsor this event because I look out at this room, and I hope that you all will consider coming to the University of Utah and the S.J. Quinney College of Law in the future. Thank you.
So Dean Kronk Warner, once again, on behalf of our family, we just wanted to thank you for the incredible support that you have given this experience. We are looking forward to an adventurous day full of learning, civic engagement, and really an invitation for our kids to get involved. And so thank you for also letting them know it's okay. It's okay to not know where they might be going, but as long as they start with their education, the doors and the pathways will open up for them. So again, thank you for hosting us.
Okay, so she said something really important at the end, and I want you to repeat after me. I belong here. Are you sure? Okay. Say it again. I belong here.
I belong here.
No, I'm sorry. It's not going to work. One more time.
I belong here.
You have to say it like you believe it. That's true. You belong here. That's right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you. That's wonderful. And as I said before, we have our governor's charge and initiative to be here. And so with that, we want to make sure that we hear from our Lieutenant Governor, Spencer Cox. He cannot be here. Normally he is here. He's representing himself and the state of Utah, but because of the legislation session that's going on right now, he can't. But he wanted to make sure that he welcomed you. And so there is a brief video that he wants to say hello. Okay, and while we're doing that, I want you to turn and talk to your neighbor and say one thing that you grabbed from our keynote, one thing that stuck with you. Turn and tell your neighbor, what are you going to think about? What did she say? Okay. And if anything, if he doesn't get in the next 2 seconds, we'll go to Dean and then we'll come back.
Come back, okay.
Yeah, not a problem. Nope. Try it again. All right, come back in 5, 4, 3. Should you go to present? 2. Thank you. It's always good that when you hear something that you kind of repeat what you want to take from that so you can put it into action later on. And here's the thing. When you're not sure where you're going, to keep going forward, right? Even if it's going left, right, zigzag, just to keep going through those trees. And can I just say that you all are so good at listening right now. Your eyes, your ears, it's just wonderful. Let me tell you, going from like second grade classroom to where I have to constantly try to get kids attention to coming to here. It's been wonderful. So as we work through the technical difficulties, we're going to skip it and come back to Mr. Cox. We do want to give him some time, but we are going to move forward and go ahead and start talking and introducing Mr. Dean Reyes Aguilar. And then he's going to go with the student speaker. So at this time, I'm going to introduce Mr. Reyes Aguilar. Mr. Reyes is an associate dean for the admission and financial aid in the S.J. Quinney Law School College of Law. Dean Aguilar dedicates much of his time encouraging and supporting students from many diverse backgrounds who are interested in applying for law school. His team coordinates Passageways to the Law, a unique program highlighting the many opportunities and career options in the legal field for high school students. So at this point in time, let's give a round of applause for Dean Reyes Aguilar.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm going to be introducing our student speaker for this morning, so I'm going to be relatively brief. But there are a couple of things I want to acknowledge. I just want to acknowledge that I've had a great kind of 3 days in the past 72 hours, and that's in part because what you represent in front of my eyes right now is the future. Dean Kronk Warner mentioned, and Nubia acknowledged that we will welcome you into our home. I want to acknowledge that we define our as including you. This is partly your home also. And this building was built and we moved into it about 5 years ago. And it was for the purpose of holding and hosting events like this for you. And the reason it's been a great 72 hours is I was at an event that was similar. And it's looking to the future. I was in California at the campus of UCLA, and they have a program where students come in over the course of spring semester, people who have recently graduated from college or in their last year, and they're preparing for graduate school. And I talk to them about how they're going to pay for it, to think about it, and considering the jobs that would be available. But that's looking to the forward. And where you guys are right now is where they were about 6 years ago. So I fully expect in the future you all will be in a similar building, in similar numbers, preparing for that future after you've graduated from law school. And while it may not be that path that you're thinking about today, it may be something different, you're moving forward because you're leaders, and leaders are thinking about moving forward. And what I want to acknowledge is I really appreciate what the title of today's conference is, The Leader in Me. Because on one hand, it refers to you looking inward. And part of being a leader is being responsible for yourself. But the other part of being a leader is being responsible for those around you. So I'm glad you had a moment to turn to the person to your right or to your left while we took that little break and talk a little bit about what you got out of Dean Kronk Warner's message. Because what you need to do now is after today, be that leader who takes that message back and works with others to serve as their inspiration. I want to close with my own remarks before I introduce Tony with, you were the guys that helped get me to where I am today. And what I mean by that is my best friend was like Dean Kronk Warner, that he was the guy who was at the leadership conferences and he was dragging me along. And he was making sure that I was staying out of trouble. And he was telling me if I tripped up that it would be okay and I would keep on my path. And that's part of what you all are going to be responsible for as leaders. So take that role very seriously. Part of your responsibility for leaders is stepping up. And in my brief conversations with Tony Peralta, he's 17 and student body cultural affairs vice president at Kearns High. He is one of those people who has stepped up. The student leader who was going to be speaking to you today, unfortunately, had to cancel at the last minute. And at the last minute, Nubia asked him to speak up and represent the students and talk to you a little bit about his background today. And he took on that leadership role and said he would. I think he's a little bit nervous. I would be nervous. But that's part of being a leader. You're doing things that are a little bit tough. He moved here at the age of 3 with his parents, who were originally from Mexico. And they moved here to the United States to make and create more opportunities for their children. And Tony's doing the right thing. He's taking advantage of opportunities that are here before him. He's going to be the first in his family that goes to attend college. So I think that's going to be an enormous amount of pride for them. His hope is to major in psychology, but you never know. He might go to pre-law and end up in law school. His main goal is to make his family proud. And boys and girls, Tony Peralta.
Okay. Well, as you guys know, my name is Tony Peralta, and I'm the Student Body Cultural Affairs Vice President at Kearns High School. And I'm here to talk about what it means to be a leader to me. The thing is, being a leader is such a awesome thing to do because of the fact that you get to push boundaries and create opportunities for the student body that you will be working towards. The reason why I've decided to run for Student Body Cultural Affairs Vice President was the fact that I wanted to make a change and to show people that I actually cared about them and make sure that they know that they should be proud of who they are and their background. Just a quick raise of a hand. How many of you guys are aware of your history and your people and are proud of it? As you should. Because of the fact that you lead that change and because of how different you guys are, that makes whatever you guys are working towards and whatever you guys are working for so much better because it creates that environment that's so welcoming. I just say that, literally with that in mind, you should try to get more involved with your student body and run for positions that you don't think you'd normally be able to do because of the fact that you can change so much. You can do so much and push people forward and create the same environment that I push to create. I just be proud of who you are and just be happy that you guys are here because you guys are here for a reason. And it's here, and you're literally inspiring to me just because of the fact that you guys are proud of who you are. Thank you.
I'm up here like a proud mama. Did you see me? Just smiling and cheesing. Let's give Tony another round of applause. And the Kern student body, can you raise your hand and give a little shout out? That's the team, the advisor over there, and I know they are super proud of Tony for stepping up and being a leader. And that's what it takes. A lot of times as you're being a leader, you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and that's where growth happens. Super proud of you. You're all here for a reason. Thank you, Tony, for reminding us of that. Thank you. Okay. So now we have reached the point in the program of our Excellence in Leadership Awards. So this portion of the program where we celebrate youth and educators who are excelling in their communities through service, civic engagement, cultural inclusivity, and championing our youth. Okay? So we would like to thank Comcast Mountains West Region for generously donating the awards for our Youth Impact Service and Youth Impact Civic Engagement winners. So Comcast, she's representing here. You're going to hear more from Miss D in a little bit. Geneva Knight will present the awards to our Excellence in Leadership student recipients. And she's going to share with you a little bit about Comcast and why they support our educational pathways, and then she'll present our Student Leadership Awards as well. So let's welcome Ms. Geneva Knight.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and thank you for having me. Geneva Knight, Comcast, oh, you're good, External Affairs Director, and so why am I here today? When we met with Nubia and her team at Utah Multicultural Affairs and we learned about this event, there was no way that we would not be involved and not be here. Supporting youth and our future leaders is something that we take to heart. At our company, most of our executives have had paths similar to the path shared here this morning today. Looking at me, you probably wouldn't know that I am the product of a single mother of 4 children. I was born and raised in Tucson, Arizona, in one of the most underserved zip codes in that area. And I am where I am today because of being exposed to youth development opportunities and mentors. And so without that, I probably wouldn't be here today. And just really quickly speaking on behalf of the opportunities that you're presented with education, exactly why I'm here today. I'm 41 years old and working on my second master's, and so that does not stop at any age. Continue to keep learning. And so at Comcast, we're committed to making sure everyone, regardless of your zip code or where you live, have access to high-speed internet access. We know you get up, first thing you do in the morning is you check your phone or you check your internet. I was at a conference last week in Philadelphia, and someone had said, internet is the battery that runs his life. And to me, that really hit really hard because there's so many people who don't have access to internet at home and have never had an in-home computer. And as students, you know how important that is to your education and to your growth in your academics and your future careers. Without that, you're not able to do research as your peers are in home. You're not able to compete at the same level as some of your peers that can do research and turn in homework assignments. Your parents aren't able to advocate on your behalf by going online and checking your grades and communicating with your teachers, et cetera. And so through a program called Internet Essentials, we offer a economic-friendly internet service for only $9.95 a month. It's the same internet service everybody that has Comcast Xfinity gets in the home. You also get access to a low-cost computer for $159 that has all the Microsoft Office products already in there. And so just want to open that up for everybody in the community to have internet at home. And part of these awards we're awarding today to 2 students, and I might mispronounce their names, includes a digital tech package. And so the digital tech packages include a Chromebook that are fully loaded with Microsoft Office. We have some Bluetooth Beats headphones. We have a backpack, a water bottle, and I'm probably forgetting some other things, but we have some goodies stacked in there for you. And so I am going to just read this. So the first winner, this award recognizes a student who has made a significant impact by addressing important issues through service and volunteerism. To be considered for recognition, students have to demonstrate evidence of being actively engaged in service-oriented efforts. The first winner is Malia Numlado. I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name. And so Malia is 11th grade at Skyridge High School in Alpine School District. She was nominated by Joyce Ahu, Executive Director of the Queen Center, for her service to the community in the school. So congratulations. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
I think you're going to have to stand for a picture with her.
Okay.
Please. Yeah. Go sit in the middle, over,
Okay.
a little bit. Don't be shy. And then look right there.
Excellent.
You've been raised right, honey.
And the second award recognizes a student that has demonstrated civic involvement, for example, voter and legislative engagement, community advocacy, policy and issue awareness, youth councils, and a commitment to building communities and opportunities to create spaces for authentic and meaningful civic learning in their community. This winner is Susanna Lemus, 11th grade at Kearns High School in Granite School District. Susanna was nominated by her teacher, Andrew Bassas, of Kearns High School, for engaging her peers in school and community civic efforts. Congratulations.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Geneva and Comcast. We could not do that without you. And will the parents of these 2 amazing young ladies please stand so we can recognize you? I know that wasn't planned, but please, we're proud. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It takes a village, and the most important ones that are there are the guardians and the parents that are right next to you and guiding you through that. So thank you so much. Okay, so this year, the Utah Division of Multicultural Affairs received several strong and amazing submissions for the Student Educator Awards, and the dedication they saw in the emerging leaders through this, and the process was truly inspiring. So they had a hard time selecting. They had a hard time, so they wanted to also acknowledge 2 runner-ups. And those 2 runner-ups, as I call your name, please come forward and I'll introduce you. Miss Leslie Paliano, am I saying that? Palino? And Leanne Alberts. Are you here? Come up. I see one. Oh, here comes the other. Come on down. We want to thank you and acknowledge your great work and commitment to leading, serving, and volunteering and getting involved to create a positive impact in your community. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You're Leslie? Okay. Wait a minute. Let me get the right one. Here, Leslie. Take pictures. Go ahead, take pictures over there. You guys are so respectful. Let's give them a cheer. Way to go. Congratulations. When you get down, just list your names on the bag. Okay. Congratulations. Awesome. Okay. So your gifts are also, just so you know, provided by Microsoft and My 529, which includes saving items plus a 14-day unlimited Xbox Live Pass and $50 towards your school bonds and your school tuition. So that money that they put into the bank, they'll sit it there and it'll grow and grow and grow. So that's what's inside there. Okay. So our Youth Impact Service runner-up. Let's give them another round of applause. Now, she didn't realize that I would be doing this, so I'm privileged and honored to highlight our next award for our Champion for Youth Educator. So these awards will honor 2 educators who promote inclusion for all students as valued as members in the classroom, school, and community. These individuals stand out and stand up for their commitment to empower and provide guidance that amplify youth voices, encourage youth leadership, and are culturally inclusive. Our first recipient is a personal friend of mine. We work together tirelessly with Cottonwood High School, and she is a counselor there. Miss Monica Candia is a counselor at Cottonwood High School in Granite School District, and she was nominated by her colleague, Ban Nays, the College Access Advisor of Cottonwood High School. So Miss Monica, let's give her a round of applause. That's right. Individual pictures? Individual? Okay. Our next recipient is Frank Velate, a teacher at the Innovations Early College High School in Salt Lake School District. He was nominated by his colleague, Darylyn Merrill of the Salt Lake City School District. Come on up and give him a round of applause. Congratulations. Come on over for a picture. You can't avoid it.
Okay.
His name is Franz. I'm glancing. So let's give a round of applause for Mr. Franz. I'm glancing down in between this and the paper, That's what I saw. So thank you. And as he does that, it's important. Your voice and your name matter. So if someone does say it incorrectly, it is not impolite to just kindly correct them. So please make sure, I tell my students that all of the time. If they can say all the names they're saying, they can say yours. Okay? So say your name out loud. That sounded kind of female. Yes, say your name loud and be proud of that. Thank you to all the award recipients, and again to the people that nominated them for recognizing them in their hard endeavors. So now, here we go. I'm going to introduce Aida. Aida, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Is she here? Not here? Okay. All right. That's okay. We'll keep going. Do we have the video okay for Mr. Cox? Is that ready to go? Okay. All right. So now let's go through. We're going to get the video running for Spencer Cox, and then I'm going to talk about the day, okay? So during the networking and exhibitors breakout session, you're going to meet and talk with colleagues and organizations. So in your program passport, you will find a list of exhibitors. Try to talk with each of those exhibitors about the type of resources, internships, and scholarships that they have. And they will give you a sticker to place on your passport sheet. Remember, that passport is your pass to get those amazing prizes. Make sure to answer the question before you tear out the page, fold it up, and then give it to a volunteer. And volunteer, can we have you raise your hands so they know who to look for? And then, of course, on the bottom, you'll see their tag is green. So look for someone that has a tag, and you can give your sticker piece to one of the volunteers. During the close of the session, that's when you'll have a chance to win prizes. So let's first, before we divide you up, let's show the video.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox, and it is my privilege to welcome you to the 2020 Multicultural Youth Leadership Day. Today you will learn how to... Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox, and it is my privilege to welcome you to the 2020 Multicultural Youth Leadership Day. Today you will learn how to improve your communities through collaborative teamwork, effective advocacy, and of course, compassionate leadership. Remember that leadership is a learned skill. People are not simply born with it. Through hard work, compassion, and bravery, it can be mastered and harnessed to better the world around us. You all have the potential to be the leaders of tomorrow by starting today. Start by being kind to one another. Build up your friends and those around you. Listen to others and always keep an open mind. Find an issue that is important to you and get involved. Volunteer in your school and in your community. And finally, learn from people you consider good leaders in your life. Your cultural diversity and personal experience are needed more than ever as Utah is set to face the challenges of the next 10 years. We need your involvement, we need your voice, and most importantly, we need your leadership. We hope you will take advantage of this learning opportunity and that you leave today with not only new knowledge and skills, but also with new friends and mentors. I would like to thank the Utah Division of Multicultural Affairs for putting this great event together. And I want to thank all of you. You inspire me, and I couldn't be more proud and humbled to be your Lieutenant Governor. Thank you, and have fun today.
Okay, so because he couldn't be here, I took a picture with you on the screen and this group here we're going to send to him, but let's take a video and we can all say at the same time, thank you, Lieutenant Cox. Can we say that? That's a mouthful. Ready? Let's practice. Thank you, Lieutenant Cox. Okay, so now we're going to say it like we're excited about what he just told us. Okay, so put a smile in it, get a little bit of noise, and I'm going to record you on the count of 3 saying, thank you, Lieutenant Cox. Yeah. Okay, you ready? Thank you, Lieutenant Cox. Man, he's going to be so sad he missed that. Okay, so here's the logistics. Listen. You've been great listeners, but we're going to pull them out. But first, real fast, let's make sure there's a team behind the scenes that has put this together that really needs some recognition. Of course, the director, Miss Nubia Pena, can we give her another round of applause? And then making sure I knew what to do all the time, which was really amazing. Emails, conference calls, the rest of the team was just great. Jenny Hoare, can you raise your hand or stand up, please? Program specialist, where is she? She's outside doing the program specialist thing. Let's give her a round of applause. Let her hear you. Okay, and I see Rosanna Benali Sag, the program specialist. Give her a round of applause. They were probably downstairs getting everything with the tables. And then we have Claudia Loyoza. Did I say that right? Claudia, did I say that? Special projects. Yeah. Did you see how she was going to try to just be humble and stay seated? No, ma'am. Be proud, right? And then our intern, our special intern and newly appointed student body president of the University of Utah. I believe a first African American. Third? Okay, third. We'll take it. Third. But first for me, because you know what I'm saying. Ephraim Coombs, stand up. We are so proud of him. Okay, here we go. So on your name badge, now please, I know you want to probably stay with where you're at, but you have a name badge colors. On your name badge, you have a specific color bordered around it, right? It's either red, blue, or green. Okay, if you found it, give a thumbs up. Okay, now with your voices off, ready? 3, 2, 1. You can see our beautiful team. They are just gorgeous. Yes, yes. They have their signs in the color that you're going to be going with. So, before I say go, listen closely. The red team is going to go to the moot courtroom, which is here, right here. So you get to stay, which is good. And it's going to talk about the advocate in me. That is so important. You need to make sure how to speak up for yourself. The green team is going to walk on the 6th floor and stay in this area. And you're going to be going to the multi-purpose room. It's just down the hallway, and that's Pathways to Community Engagement and AmeriCorps. Yeah, you guys are excited about all the schools you're seeing that you're going to be with? Okay. This is not dating time. This is leadership time. Calm down. And then the blue team, you're going to go to the networking and exhibitors breakout, and that's going to be down, okay? So if you need to use the elevator, use the elevator. The stairs, I don't know if they're going to take you through the stairs, okay? But if you need to use the elevator as you're going down, please let the leaders know. So first, for logistics' sake, we're going to go color at a time, so we're not all crazy here. Green team, stand on up. You're going to go out to the multipurpose room. Go ahead, green team. Thank you. Well, my dream when I grow up was to be an educator. So I've been looking at the law school, but I've just been waiting because I've been going back and forth, and I know that they say you can do it, but that first year I need to take a sabbatical. So I'm just waiting in a time, and now I've changed. This way to my right, your left, and you're going to go out this way to avoid traffic jams, okay? Blue team, and then you're going to just go out and across. You'll be going to the networking and exhibitors. On the first and second floors. Remember, ask questions. Keep your passports for those prizes. And then red team, you're here. So when everyone leaves, red team, please come forward, okay? When everyone leaves, if you're up at the top, red team, are you up there? You hear me back there? You're not going to be shy. You're going to come and fill in the seats, okay? Awesome. I love the energy. Wake up. So it's a massive, how long is the program?
1 year. And it's every other Friday.
Are you going to your office right now?
I
think I have time.
I have to promise to say hi to the youth tribe kids.
Okay, I'm going to follow you because I want to maybe get some information.
Yeah, well,
Follow me.
Follow you? Did you hear us talking? I'm so proud of you. Getting my educational law degree. Having to do that for a year is not ideal. And maybe when I'm 52, I can retire.
oh, you could have a totally different
Exactly.